as a way to find out where you sit. Fantasy of roof wall, a solution that yearns for transit. If you're looking for something, be sure that you look right at yourself. Looking closer to movement, 'cause time is about to stand still. Pay attention to the space, fabric, it's tearing faster. Shake hands with God and the ever after, yeah. Let's face time laughing instead of moving faster. Instead of carving out the ever after. Spinning around on a carousel of memories, and you're coming down, returning to the now, stuck in your mind. 'Cause sooner or later you're gonna die. Sooner or later you're gonna die, 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 die. So pay attention to the space, time, fabric, it's tearing faster. Shake hands with God and the ever after, yeah. Let's face time laughing instead of moving faster.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MASL in the Box Live with your hosts, Adam, Matt, and Gio.
Everybody get.
Ta-da! Good evening, one and all, MSL fans, non-MSL fans, PASL fans.
Hello, everyone.
Fans of tacos.
I like tacos.
You're making me hungry. I haven't eaten.
Why? Why not?
So have I.
We had
Because I had practice, and then from practice, I came on here.
Well, there needs to be food. There needs to be a priority set there. I prioritize my whole life around food.
It's all right. I could gain to lose a pound or two.
Seems reasonable. So, did anything happen in the last week that we want to talk about?
No.
Not really.
Well,
No.
We just to go to a timeout?
I'll get it
Okay,
out of the way.
wait. Okay, we don't want to do a timeout. That's a horrible place for a timeout. You know who knows what's a good place for a timeout is Eric Bergerud. He would know
He
when to
does.
take a timeout.
And it's
Yeah,
funny
he does.
because wait, no, something did happen this weekend. The championship, maybe. I mentioned it in the chat. I mentioned
chat?
the word timeout. It was right before a set piece.
Oh yeah,
They called it timeout.
yeah, that was pretty good.
All
All right, so congratulations for this. Get this. Let's make sure we're not ignoring anything. Congratulations to San Diego Sockers for the 2021 Ron Newman Cup win. Very, very, very exciting game. So on a personal note, I'm very disappointed because I had a cool soundboard all set up because you guys have heard the sound effects I have, and just before going live, realized that the audio wasn't coming through to the stream, so we can all hear it, but it doesn't come through. And I had to disband it because I ran out of time. So I did have a golf clap and an applause and a ding 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 all set up. But so congratulations, San Diego, and the lone players who are posting all over social media about their wins. Definitely exciting series for sure. It was one of the better games that I've seen.
So it's funny that you mentioned. I love to see all the social media I saw from like fans, right? I've never seen fans that engaged, which was awesome to see.
There's a
Like
lot
there
of
was a
San Diego fans that have been quiet for a while.
yeah, it was like there was also a video of like them having like a mob singing BLA on the bus, like all that stuff it was awesome to see. I wish we would see it more often though.
Well, I mean, this year's tough, but yeah, definitely. I know there were teams that were welcoming back fans from the airport and things like that. That were going on. So I know that happened in the semis, but well. So, do we want to break down the games, or what do we want to start with here?
Yeah, let's talk about the games just to summarize them.
Hey, so I don't have the soundboard, but the video team in Ontario have kind of inspired me to set up some video scenes. So why don't we talk about it? I'll be the producer behind the scenes.
Oh my God. I can't.
So, okay. So game one.
Game one. That game was really impressive of how.
Yeah, I didn't think we'd be able. I mean, you guys don't like the different angles?
Oh my God.
No, I do. I mean, it's good.
I mean,
I'm smaller. I like that.
That's amazing.
And then, of course,
oh my gosh. Holy guacamole, that's hilarious. But yeah, so the first game, it was super interesting to see how good the Sockers can be. Right? Like that's something we didn't see most of the year.
it was the Sockers team that I was talking about all season that we just never saw. And I remember saying, like, so is this the team that, like, when do they get warmed up? Because in past years it's always taken them 5-6 games to get warmed up. Well, apparently the answer is like 10 this season. Or 1, if you consider the last game against Dallas was the best game they played going in.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Dallas game was the best game they played up until game one. I mean, from start to finish, game one was their best. Well, that's perfect. Yeah, just keep going.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh my God. No, you can see my hair. It's so messed up.
I mean, this isn't good camera work? You don't like this?
No.
wait for my finger to go through.
Should I change? Wait, how about in the middle of the sentence I change it? And it will simulate like...
Well, I mean, yeah, you should definitely change the thing in the middle of the sentence, and then, oh, hey, well, you're right there near the corn dog. Geo's all the way up there. Look at that. Look at that Geo right there. Still a little Baltimore blast field. Have a picture.
Oh, we should be thankful we even have a picture.
Yes, so thank you.
Okay, that was entirely too much fun. I would apologize, but that's not my nature, so...
But yeah, the Sockers played really, really well. I think it caught the Fury off guard a little bit.
Well, it was 3-0 in the media timeout. And it almost seemed like, especially a playoff game, the teams in almost any sport, teams seem to start out slower. And there'll be a lot of possession, and San Diego's like, nope, we're coming right at you as fast and hard as we can. And that's just going to be the way it's going to go. And all of a sudden it's 3-0 in the media break. And even I was looking around like, holy shit, the game started. Like, you guys can't give a team like this a head start.
Yeah.
And they were never in it. I mean, there was unless you want to count the Dallas, we're behind 4 goals. We still have to press because we're still in this game, being in it, which we know it isn't. But yeah,
I mean, but like Philly said in the broadcast, right? The Ontario have been there plenty of times this postseason where they're down and they find a way to pull it out. It's just I wasn't so I was like there was two train of thoughts for me. It was the Fury is good enough to turn things around, and then the other side was the Sockers are playing lights out. That there's no way Fury's going to turn it around.
right. Yeah, same here.
I mean, they came back against Kansas City, and we saw. I mean, Kansas City is a different team than San Diego, obviously. So giving up a 3-0 lead to a team like San Diego, where they play back, it's going to be harder to come back from that deficit than it would be if you're playing against a Kansas City or a Florida.
Yep. Yeah, definitely agreed. I mean, we heard Farber and a number of other players say, well, we finally realized we were a defensive team, so we just embraced that, and that's what we did. That's what we went with. And as soon as you realize that,
they were not just a defensive team this weekend, right? They were a creative team. They were finding little threaded balls where I knew they had the talent to do, but they haven't done them. They were a defensive team with some creative plays that were just out of this world in some cases. With Pino had a great game, Brandon Escoto had a great game, Childs had on and off moments.
Yeah, I mean, he almost ripped the guy's face off, so there was that.
Right, so I'm saying but then again, and then in the same game, he puts in a banger, right? Like
Right.
just caught it almost. I wouldn't say a half volley, but on a bounce.
Yeah, it was the So Brad said San Diego played a near perfect game one. Absolutely agree. It
Right.
was it was like, I mean, and I hate to acknowledge this, but the Craig Elston Soccer's magic. There's just something about that team that when they're down and out, they figure out a way to figure it out. And
sorry to cut you off.
no, that's fine.
My hat's off to Pardo to just withstand that pain. You could tell his back was hurting, and he still played longer than he should have, and he played well, right? He didn't just he was injured and was half
Yeah.
working. He played well, and
That was weird to me because, so I mean, I've had neck, so we'll get into the Clayson thing later, but I've had two neck surgeries and neck problems. I haven't had lower back problems for many years. I used to play cello, and I was in first year of college was in a Mozart opera that was 4 hours long with like an hour worth of just sitting there resting. But since you can kind of be seen because you're in the pit, which you can kind of be seen, you need to hold posture. So just sitting with your back straight up for an hour not doing anything was just, I had problems there, but I never had problems as an adult lower back, which I know a lot of people do. But the fact that there was no contact and he was never moving when he got injured made me worried, because those are the kind of things that you can have a dislocated, not dislocated, but a herniated disc, and just sit on it can be fine for a while, and then you move the wrong way and it pinches all the nerves or whatever. Now the question, it did come up of why he came out. So the rule is if a goalkeeper has to be treated by medics twice, they have to come out. Now they can come back on the next stoppage, which everyone thought, at least I thought, it was going to happen. But Van Zella came in and finished out the game. Dave,
I just couldn't take it anymore.
Dave wants to know if there's going to be replays. I don't have replays. I do have I have different. I have different camera. Oh, that's not it. Oh, there we go. I have different camera angles, and we'll just randomly switch those throughout the show for the viewer experience, because everyone knows when you're following along in a conversation, the one thing you really want to have happen is the camera to completely switch angles, so you have no idea what you're looking at anymore. For example, something like that.
So then game two.
Do we want to talk about what happened between game one and game two?
Well, I mean, do we have enough information too?
So Saturday, game 1 is on Friday night. Saturday, an announcement from the team came out that under mutual agreement, Charlie and his brother Jose were let go from Ontario. Released immediately. We're not going to play the Sunday game. I have read probably 5,000 words about this story. And shortly after that, Charlie released his own statement saying it was not mutual. He was told he was being released for being too mean. So I've heard like I said, I've read probably 5,000 words on this. I don't have any details on what happened. I have no idea what happened. And by the way, Ontario production staff, we had 20 concurrent viewers until I started screwing out the cameras, and now we have 14. So maybe that's what happened to your broadcast too. Anyway, we have no idea what happened. We heard different things. We heard that the ownership, the organization were unanimous in agreeing that he should be let go. During the game, they said the team made the decision and the team was unanimous in letting him go. I don't know what, there's no details there. I have no idea what really happened. So
I feel like, so we're working on finding out, and we will find out, but I just think there's two sides to this story, and there's 2 point of views to this story.
well, so far there's no sides because there's no details.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, for example, there's, the side of Charlie and his brother that were let go, and they were pretty upset about it. And obviously they didn't want Charlie. It didn't seem like Charlie wanted to go because, based on what he said, he's given it all for that team.
Well, I mean, geez, he just won the first inaugural Joseph Kyrell Inspirational Passion Award.
Right. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
The problem was he was too passionate, right? So he was mean.
Was it so? I've talked to a couple of different players, and one who's been a multiple time guest on this show has said the only way that happens is if a group of players goes to the owners and say, you need to get rid of this guy now or we're not playing. Well, something happened.
So, all right. So I'm going to go on a rant.
You want me to change camera angles for you?
Yeah, you should probably change camera angles.
No.
Perfect. That one works. Yeah.
Wait. There's one in here. There we go.
Oh, that's perfect. No, but seriously, my feelings is that I get that the MASL is trying to run the best league that they can, and that's fine and dandy. And I know they have, but maybe they don't have something that protects the players. But I feel like there should be a third party that overlooks players' contracts, releasing players and stuff like that. So, like, I can't believe that a professional league could just cut a player like that without going through certain steps, right? It can't. There's no. I know theoretically they probably can, and there's probably a clause in their contract, but it shouldn't be that way.
Well,
right?
but there's player. There's like what am I trying to say? Code of conduct that every sports league has. The fans usually don't see what those kind of things are, but let's say bar fight's a bad example. Let's say Ray Lewis goes out and kills 2 guys. Oh, that's a bad example too. Let's say that seriously, let's say that somebody gets in like a DUI or a drunk driving accident, and they get arrested or something. There's a player code of conduct that says the team can just release that player outright because that's something that should not have, that the player needs to uphold a certain standard. But
of course,
in the other sports leagues, they release what's going on. Now I get that these guys, this isn't their full-time jobs for a lot of them, so that they still have a life to live. So maybe they want to have some protection of the players where, and I'm not saying this happened at all, but let's say a player got a DUI, they boot him from the league. They don't want to make that public because he still has a life he has to deal with. But still, there needs to be some sort of
something like conduct detrimental to the team or something like that.
Yeah.
Because
but in this instance, we're talking about a player that probably was yelling at his teammates for not showing up. And let's be honest, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Well, isn't that what Phil Salvaggio did to his team
Exactly.
before the playoffs?
Exactly. So if it was like, okay, this guy had a DUI, I get it, or this guy shot someone, I get it. But we're talking about a player that is passionate and probably had. Let me not speculate because.
Yeah. So LeSharon said, if you notice, he sat on the bench Friday during the fourth quarter. I was so caught up in the game that I didn't really notice, but that's and then Brad says you would think it had to do it between games in a championship. It must have been quite serious. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously they're not going to say, okay, well, this guy, we don't like the way he ties his shoes, so we're cutting him after the championship game. No, let's just do it now because you can't tie your shoes like that and play on my team. It's not something like that. But yeah, I mean, there has to be something.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird that you mentioned. I mean, we're talking about this. Let's look on the flip side. San Diego was missing a key player, and I have no idea what happened. Slavisa Ubi-Parapovic.
And late in the game, either Craig or Philly mentioned that he was dismissed from the team, but there's nothing on the MASL side about it.
Yeah, there's no information now. I'm sure I could ask Slav what happened, but I mean that's probably between him and the team. It just some sort of like just say conduct detrimental to the team or something like that. Don't leave it vague.
Yeah, the fans deserve to know better, especially when you give the guy 2 weeks earlier the equivalent of like the Walter Payton Award from the NFL.
Exactly.
And then it's like what is like for me is just so sneaky is like you release a press release. Obviously, people are probably not going to your website unless if it wasn't for people that actually go to the website and do stuff. There wouldn't be nothing on social media about it if it wasn't for the people.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like they do it, but they secretly do it. So it's like, why not be transparent? Why not? What is it that you're trying to hide?
Right.
So Jada Kid 96 has a sunflower picture, and Charles S says, "Great jersey, Matt, with a sunflower."
That's right. Oh, thank you to Nick McDonald for sending me this kit, and I also have stickers that I'm going to send to you guys eventually.
So Joey in the chat, he's one of the owners of the sunflowers.
Nice.
He's a great guy. We're gonna get you on the show one of these days. Just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So are we going?
So
going game?
Sharon says she knew about Slav on Thursday because she did their credentials to get into the building. But it's weird that it wasn't on the site at all. I don't understand.
It wasn't mentioned at all during game one. Like it makes you think because he wasn't in Kansas City at all. He wasn't even in the playoffs. So
right.
It's just kind of interesting how they kept that under wraps.
That's
So,
if Slav is watching this, he's more than welcome to come back to Utica next season. Anyways,
Yeah.
Game 2.
Wait. So we're probably going to take next week off just because I think everyone needs a break. We need a break from everyone, and everyone needs a break from us. But probably everyone needs a break from us more.
I don't need a break from you guys.
Yeah, you do, and you just don't realize it. But I'm talking about like all of our MSL family needs a break from us. But let's do a sunflower show the first week in May. So
I like that.
So guys, so Joey said any Monday works. So let's tentatively plan this like Monday, May 3rd to do a sunflower show.
Perfect. I'll send a message to, well, I'm sure Nick McDonald will watch this.
Yeah.
I'll send a message to Joey after this, if he's not still here.
We have like sunflower representing in the chat. There's like 5 people. You guys always watch our shows and just hide, and the only reason you come on now is because Matt has a jersey on? If so, we're gonna have to.
Yeah, I'll just wear this jersey all the time.
We're gonna have to put sunflowers all over the place. We could put imagine this being a sunflower. We could put it like right here, and it would just be perfect. A big sunflower.
It's okay.
Sorry, Gio. Happened to be
It's
there.
okay. It just happened to be there.
Matt just left. Hang on, wait.
No,
Okay.
Sure.
So the second game.
Game 2. I did not know what to expect going into this game.
Right.
You guys, Sunflower guys, are awesome. Thanks for joining here. Thanks for communicating. But yeah, so I had no idea what to expect for the second game. There were two ways this could go. Where the team with the loss of Charlie went, what is this?
Those are stickers.
Your angle you had, I'm like, what do you got? This like giant sunflower thing?
There, I'll just hold this up. That'll be my picture for the whole thing.
There you go.
Talk.
We'll see how long he can hold that.
Right, yeah. He's just gonna put it in front of the cup. You guys are awesome. I'm a Sunflower fan now. I mean, not that I wasn't before. I just haven't watched any
He
games.
got caught. Call him out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I haven't. I've watched very, very few M2, M3 games. I've been trying to do too many hobbies, I think, and I need to get my schedule figured out, including my sit in front of the TV and ignore all my hobbies time, which always needs to happen. So game 2, there's two ways a team can react to this. They can just kind of fall apart because they lose the spark, or they can become professional athletes and step up, and that's exactly what they did. You could tell from the opening whistle, Ontario's like, we're going to take control of this game. And maybe we're not doing it for Charlie. Maybe we're doing it for us. We're doing it for what this stands for. Because if the rumors that I'm hearing are true about how the team came together and asked for him to be released, then the team had a lot to prove after that. It's like basically like you wanted your best, arguably your best player off the team. Now what do you have? And they stepped up and they really did. And
For the most part.
I mean, yeah, San Diego made a game of it. Like when Elston had his little temper tantrum when it went up 5-2 with 12 minutes left in the fourth. Oh, this is going to a minigame. This game is over. Yeah. Oh, Dave had a good point. Many corn dogs are made with sunflower oil. Good point, Dave.
Dave coming through with the important information.
Dave just sent me a picture with State Fair corn dogs and a sunflower in the same picture.
Oh, Jesus.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Oh, we need to. So, Adam, we need to do a Dave meme about the MASL, the one with the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
Like the one. Yeah, we need to do one of like the MASL.
We need a picture of Dave though in the arena.
No, we could just use the Baltimore Orioles one, like.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Like forgot there was a blast game or something, and then it just have the picture of him in the Orioles gear.
It's crazy.
So as a goalkeeper, I kind of feel bad for Clayson DeLima. Not for the injury. I mean that sucks, and I'm glad he's okay. But when you have the
hang on.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
Okay, there it is.
Letting that ball go through his legs, that right there is just. I feel for him.
You have so there's two things that I felt completely horrible for in that game, and the first one was that because all it takes is and you see this every once in a while, like pro soccer, European soccer, you'll see a guy go up, like a goalkeeper go up to take a kick that's been passed to him, and just takes his eyes off the ball. It hits a little bump and he completely whiffs on it, or like a goal kick, whiff on it because it falls down in a little divot or whatever, and that's all that happened. He did the standard thing where you go down with two hands, and he just lifted his eyes up for a split second, and that was all it took.
Yep.
The other thing I felt bad at is when he went out and Chewy came in, and Chewy Molina played at 45 years old, played 20 seconds of soccer this season and gave up the game the championship winning goal, which granted you can't say that it would not have happened to Clayson at the same time, but you gotta just feel bad for the guy after that. Now I know he's a professional and he'll move on, and it won't be a lot of the commentators are like, oh, I'll be dreaming about that forever. I don't think he will. It's just stuff like that happens. But yeah, that was crazy.
I mean, and you can't just put that on one person, right? You could easily say that player shouldn't have been in that position to shoot, or
absolutely, yeah.
the defender could have closed
the
it down faster.
The goal itself was great. I mean, the way it happened, Vanzella to was it Childs, and then
Childs to
Serta.
Serta, yeah.
I mean, and it was over his shoulder. I mean, it was a great goal.
It's a nice little flick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Good to see Ontario bounce back. Good to see Robert Palmer score the game-winning goal in Game 2. And good to see a competitive mini game.
Yeah.
It's
especially
amazing.
especially that last 15 seconds where. So I was in the chat and I was like, Vanzella is a wall in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened.
It's amazing to see Ontario pull a good game without Maicon Deabreu with his torn ACL and Charlie.
Maicon's still limping on the field during breaks and stuff like that. It was kind of inspirational.
Yeah.
Felt really bad for him.
It definitely says a lot about them, and good on them that they push the Sockers all the way to a mini game, all the way to the last second. And unfortunately, if you're a soccer fan, fortunately, if you're an Ontario fan, fortunately, it went the way it did. So,
I think for Ontario, you have to give credit to what was his name, Montserrat.
Oh
yeah,
Montserrat, yeah, that guy, fast, just all over the place, and ended up scoring in was it the mini game?
In the mini game, yeah.
So I think you're going to see good things from him next season. And I think he's still eligible for Rookie of the Year.
You're right. Yeah, I would think so.
Maybe I don't know how it's set up these days.
There were if anyone, we always hear about I've never seen indoor soccer. What's it like? Or you want to tell someone about the game or whatever. Play them the last 15 seconds of that mini game and say, this is what the sport is all about. And you can't not be a fan.
On mute.
What's
maybe
that?
Maybe put it on mute.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Or just lower the volume a little bit.
Yeah. I won't go into my rant about that.
I could demo it for you if you want.
No.
It looks like Montserrat played 6 games this season, so he is not eligible for the Rookie of the Year next season.
Oh, but never mind. I'll shut up.
Yeah. Stinson's shot, Frank's header. I mean, the whole thing in the end was just nuts.
Yeah.
There were 4 legit scoring chances in 15 seconds.
And I will say this. I will say this to Fury fans. I think you were right to throw the flag.
Which flag? At the end?
The handball? The handball?
So here's the thing. And I guess we're going to talk about replay right now.
Oh, crap.
So the rules about replay is each team gets 1 challenge flag per game. And there's a list of rules and stipulations and situations that you can or cannot challenge. The game or the challenge flag will replenish, or you only get 1 per game. You lose it. There's no if you get this right and the next one right, you get it back or anything. It goes away. But if the game goes into overtime, you get 1 more flag. Well, what that guarantees is that in the last 30 seconds, minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, of a game that's tied, whatever team has a challenge flag left is going to throw it. Because they're going to look for something that they could, oh, well, they scored a goal, so we need to review maybe a minute and a half before that there was a weird foul that shouldn't have led to the goal, and you can call it off. And it doesn't make sense if a team doesn't play it. And that's why we saw the flag come out in
In the second game.
In the second game regulation with 12 seconds left, and there was obviously nothing to look at.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense to keep the flag, because what if there's a 1 in a million chance where something came out that no one saw?
Right.
So my understanding, though, is that all the goals were reviewed anyway, and we've heard so many different rules about this, and of course the MASL hasn't printed anything for us to look at as far as the challenges, which is just mind-boggling why they wouldn't do that. There are goal judges, I guess, that we only heard in KC because Ryan Sigich was up in the booth. Every goal is reviewed, I guess, which we only heard because Ryan Sigich was up in the booth. So that's why that last goal in the minigame was reviewed. However, when the camera angle expert decides to say, well, the reason why the replay at the end wasn't a handball is because the goalkeeper's foot was on the line. And then the all-star announcer of Craig Elston repeats that. There's a breakdown. Like, does no one know what the damn rules are for a handball in soccer? It absolutely 100% does not matter where the goalkeeper's body is, or if his foot is on the line, or if his face is on the line. It's if 100% of the ball is over 100% of the line. So when they showed the replay, it was really and then people said, "Oh, the replay, there are not enough angles." Yeah, bullshit. There's 100%. There was no way that was going to be overturned based on those camera angles. You could tell when Van Zell touched the ball, part of it was at least on the line, because the line extends all the way up.
Theoretically.
So yeah. So I didn't understand, and I still don't understand why people are complaining about that handball, because it wasn't, by definition of what the rules of soccer are, having nothing to do with indoor, it wasn't a handball.
And even still, okay, it's a handball. I mean, you're still at a 50-50 chance. Not even.
Well, it's better
right?
than a 0 chance.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, with Van Zelle in goal,
you never know at that point. It made sense to challenge it, but like someone said, it takes the, and so you guys are, I don't know if you guys are NHL fans or whatever. I used to be back in like the mid to late 90s. They used to have a rule where almost every goal was reviewed to see if someone was in the crease. And the rule was if anyone's skates were in the crease at all, crease is the little goal thing in front of the goal, it was no goal.
I was going to ask you what that was.
Yeah, it's the little like goal box thing in front of the goal. They call it the referee's crease in indoor, that little semicircle over by the referee's box. So you can have a goal coming in on the right side, and you could have this much of a skate on the left side of the crease on the line, and they would call that no goal based on the rules. And what it did is it made every goal took 2 minutes to review, and everyone was wondering, "Oh, is it a goal? Should we clap? We don't know what to do." And then after each goal was either thunderous applause or boos because of the system. So they realized that was bad. We got to take away that. So they got rid of that rule, and they got rid of the replays off after all the goals and everything because they wanted to keep the game going. Well, here we have a situation where it's the championship game. The clock hits 0. All the team that won does is want to get onto the field, and all the team that lost does want to get off the field. But yet here's this, oh, maybe it's a replay. Maybe there was a handball. And now it's going to be forever a controversial play, which anyone who knows the game knows it was not controversial at all. But for the casual fan, they think, oh, we should have gotten that. That was ripped off. The refs suck. We should have gotten the handball. Well, what do you do? I mean, yeah. So Dave said if it was a handball, it would have been a shootout, because that was the rule. Goalie, actually a shootout and a penalty. So after the shootout, they still would have had 5-on-4, or so they could have done for the shootout. They could have pulled the goalkeeper. They could have had 6-on-4, and just played that last 10 seconds or whatever, and had another mad dash towards it with a man up. But yeah, no handball, no issue. The only issue was it took momentum away from just give these guys a cup already and get it over with.
Yeah.
So there's my reason I don't like the replays. Almost every other reason I like the idea of replays because there's so many things that are missed and how fast of a game this is.
Yeah, I think replay needs to be looked at for next season, like full next season, not just like, oh, one game here, one game there. Make it uniform.
Yep.
I agree that if we do, personally, either way, it doesn't matter to me. I think if we're going to do it, we're just going to do it all out, or we're not going to do it at all. But if we do it, we need to have more camera angles, and we have better camera angles.
Agreed.
Because the ones we have, Jesus Christ! Like there was this one they reviewed. I think it was in the first game where literally only one camera angle could see it, and then the other two was behind the post. The other one just was bad.
What?
Matt, I think you're talking, but you're not being heard.
He wasn't talking.
I wasn't talking.
Oh.
So I agree with that, but I also agree if you're gonna do replay. So I said to Dave said Milwaukee fans are still arguing Billy Nelson's 3-pointer in 2003 in Game 3. Unfortunately, I wasn't a fan then, so I've heard about the play and I think I've seen it, but I wasn't there and I wasn't involved in the sport then. So I typed in handball and Sonora with a question mark.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I did have someone ask me for the video of that Sonora Baltimore game back in 2015.
The only videos I've seen could be put on like Unsolved Mysteries as like a UFO video, and you'd have more conclusive evidence of a UFO than a handball at that point.
Look, all I'm gonna say is 2001 season's over. What to expect next?
21?
21. Yeah.
What year are you in?
Yes,
are you a time traveler? Is that what you're?
2001 season just getting over with.
Yeah. The one thing I was going to say about replay though. So the excuse that I've heard about replay is that not all the arenas have the ability to do replay. Well, then they don't have the ability to play in the league. If in 2021 or whatever year where it's going to be when we start the next season,
2001, according to Geo.
2020.
Yeah, in 2001 at MASL Space Odyssey, if you don't have the technology to be able to do replays on multiple camera angles, you can find another league to play in at this point. Like
Ooh, I know a league.
No.
So, do we want to get into that at all?
No.
Okay. I'm good with that.
We're on a what? How much time do we have left?
I don't know. Well, if we want to do an hour show, we have 15 minutes left. So we're not going to do an hour show.
Okay.
So there you go. I mean, that's a series. Minigame, handball, no handball. Replay, no replay. Flags, no flags.
Corn dogs and sunflowers.
Corn dogs
They
and
don't even
sunflowers.
mention that. That has me so upset. Look, let's not even go down that rabbit hole.
Well, what? Oh, the Super League?
Corn dogs and sunflowers.
The death of soccer.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that.
So, let's kind of completely shift gears. We have something in St. Louis we got to talk about. But I want to shift gears a lot.
Oh, Everton?
What's that?
We're going to talk about Everton?
Maybe. But first, I want to talk about Matthew Knowles. So Sarah and Adrian Knowles are Milwaukee Wave season ticket holders, and their son Matthew. Any Wave fan that's been in a game knows Matthew. He's the kid in the wheelchair. Has an amazing wardrobe of Wave clothes, plus maybe an Underground Hive band shirt signed by the amazing guys in that band. He is our biggest fan. I've heard we're his biggest fan, but I'm more like we're his biggest fan. And he is involved in this thing that we've talked about in the past called Life Striders, which helps children with disabilities kind of get more into touch and feeling things by horseback riding. So his horse's name is Stormy. He is... Yeah, thank you. Get your act together. Where's mine? I don't know where mine is. Oh, mine's way back there. He's peering at you. they're doing a Derby Day champion, where they're collecting for proceeds to keep Life Striders going. And Matt and I, Gio, I think this is right before you joined the show. Matt and I both donated last year. I am going to post a link in the chat here for Matthew's Life Striders, and I'm going to donate myself. I'm not putting any pressure on you guys, but I'm going to personally donate $100 towards Matthew and Stormy, and hopefully get him in the lead. There's like 20 different teams that are going for it, and for people who win the most win prizes and things. So that's one thing I want to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about is Art Kramer, former Wave color color announcer. I don't know if you guys know what's going on. There's a lawsuit going on. I don't want to go into many details of it because it's kind of some ugly details, and there's a lot of rumors and things and speculation. He's in the middle of a lawsuit and basically hasn't been able to see his kids in almost 2 years now. And they're like 7 to 10, 7 to 11, somewhere in there. He is coming up with a fundraiser to help him raise the funds to be able to hire legal defense to be able to see his kids again. Actually, yeah, his kids are 8, 12, and 10. So I'm going to post that link in. I'm also going to donate $100 to Art's fund, and hopefully we can get Art to be reunited with his kids again. A lot of it had to do with COVID, but a lot of it had to do with these legal proceedings. Anybody who knows Art and knows what he's done with the community knows there's not a lot of truth behind these accusations, but because of what they are, he hasn't been able to see his kids in a while. So it's sad. It's something I would not want to wish on anyone. So there's that link. I posted that in the chat as well.
Art Kramer is a legend. I mean, it's crazy. I still will listen to old Cleveland Crunch games and hear his play-by-play, and he's so knowledgeable of the sport. And
the only team that I've thought was better than Nick and Eric was Tom and Art.
Oh.
So we'll say that. Of any of the announcing teams I've ever heard.
So in other words, guys, go donate.
Go donate. Yes. Also, and Sarah's in the chat. Sarah, you're awesome. Thank you.
Hi, Sarah.
And I read her chat in a way that I'm saying a message back to her. I came up with this crazy idea. I have a friend who does he's very involved in video games, and he does a video game podcast every week. And every year he does a fundraiser where he streams himself playing games for 24 hours straight while doing giveaways and gathering funds and things. I don't think I can survive 24 hours straight, but maybe 8. And I think I like to do that this summer sometime. Find a day that 3 of us aren't working, weekend, weeknight and the next morning, something where we can do kind of a marathon fundraising show. And maybe we can play clips from games. We can do maybe a watch party. We can give away corn dogs. We can give away stickers. We can find other stuff to give away.
Oh yeah.
Do you have the sticker?
My 8 hours will just be this face and talking.
Yeah,
I can't do any of that stuff.
I mean, we could take time outs and do stuff like that.
Look
But
at this.
in the box stickers, yeah, look at that. We can give that stuff away. We can, and what we can also do is we can turn it, because we did a yeah, there you go. We did a fundraiser show last summer, June maybe. I don't remember when it was. I think June, early July, somewhere around there.
It was back.
And we had various people come in and talk about their charities that they were fundraising for.
Donna and her amazing internet.
Donna's amazing internet. Sarah was on talking about Matthew and Life Striders. We had Corey Adamson on. We had Elliot Foskey on. We had, I'm going to forget somebody I know.
You have the list on oops, wrong way. You have the list on Facebook.
Yeah.
I do have the list on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah.
I think we got them all though. Oh, we had Gianni on.
We had Gianni on talking about pet rescue.
I didn't want to remember that, but I ended
up. We had Nick Episcopo talking about the Silver Knight Foundation. Emma wasn't able to come on the show, but she was talking about the Juneteenth fundraiser.
Yep.
So we had a number of people. We could probably double the number of people to get on the show, talk about whatever charity you want. So for those of you watching, if you have any charities you'd like to talk about, even if you don't want to actually come on the show, if you just want to talk about them and have us bring it up, let me know. Let one of the three of us know.
Hopefully we'll remember it.
I'll write it. If you let me know, I'll write it down. If you let these guys know, who knows what'll happen.
I'll put it on my whiteboard.
What did Dave?
Don't check the memes.
Oh, but I'm not playing that one. Yep, I'm not. Sorry, Dave. We're not gonna show those live. I have Ontario fans that are friends, and I don't want to ruin that. Go Tropics from Helix Gaming. All right, I'll allow it. I'm in a good mood. I'll allow it.
So St. Louis.
So St. Louis, the other shocking news that came in this week, Everton was announced that he was leaving St. Louis Ambush. I don't know what to think about that. I asked both sides, and I got what seemed to be a very scripted answer. And I don't want to say that what I heard wasn't true. It just sounded like, to me, growing up with a brother 3 or 4 years younger than me, it sounded like when two brothers do something they shouldn't have done or break something and then get together and get their story straight to go tell mom and dad what happened. That's kind of what it sounded like to me. And I've heard a number of things completely off the record by a number of different people. And it's almost like the Charlie situation where I'm hearing a lot of things and I have no details. I don't really know. I don't know what to think about that. I thought Everton was making great strides. I don't want to say that having a NFL football team that's known for dominating the regular season, getting completely blown out in the playoffs. I don't want to say that the reason that he's leaving is because of the playoff losses. It happens. It happens to the best of teams. People just have off games. Teams have off games. But it was weird. It was weird to me.
Hear me out on this. And now I want you to mark down the day and time. I'm going to call it right now. Everton, the beginning of next season, will be the coach of the Dallas Sidekicks.
Everton, Dallas Sidekicks.
No, thank you.
Interesting.
The reason I say that is because he's not going to have the pieces he needs, man. Not for his style.
Yeah, but he didn't have any pieces when he came to St. Louis. He came in when they won 3 games, and the next season they won 1, and he built the pieces up to have a break-even season, a winning season, and some very reasonable games.
Yeah, Everton needs to be a coach in the league somewhere.
So I'm piecing a couple pieces of information together that I got from various places. I think what happened was he was supposed to move to St. Louis permanently, and he didn't want to. He realized that his home is here in Milwaukee. Which is interesting, because there's no head coaching job here in Milwaukee.
Or is there?
Oh. You never know.
Well, actually, hold on, wait, time out. The reason he's not going to go to Dallas is because, like Phil, who else is the owner and is a coach?
Nobody.
Yeah, Dallas.
Well, right. But
So
those are the only two, yeah.
Those coaches are never going anywhere.
Orlando? It's true. Yeah, right. Unless Bozos so Bozos has other investors who may say, "Hey, you really suck, and you've sucked for this many years. You need to make some changes, or we're pulling out." All of his fans are saying you need to make a coaching change. He's done the same thing 4 years in a row, and it's done the same results.
Yeah, they should have done this like 4 years ago, but I think Dallas needs new blood in there, and I think a former player like Everton would be a good fit.
It would be interesting because I know he could bring some players with him. What's going to be really interesting to me is to find out what happens with the players who went to St. Louis because of Everton. Max,
The Max.
the Brazilian players, Santos, Tony Walls.
You know what? It would be interesting
Santos
in
isn't gonna,
Dallas.
I don't think Santos is going to be in.
Now that I think about it, because of the players like Lipe, there's a lot of Brazilian players there that'll probably be happy to have him on board.
Yeah. Interesting. So at 9:23 p.m. Central Daylight Time on April 19th, 2021, Matt made a prediction and Gio went completely. That's a really neat effect.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so have you ever seen? Okay, so Adam, Practical Jokers episodes where
Is that
they
happening?
have like the mirror,
Yes.
and the guy is doing like an interview,
Hey, he's back.
and then they push a button, and it's like them doing something really ridiculous. That's exactly what that was.
You know what's funny? Like on YouTube, it's normal.
No, it wasn't. It was messed up on you. You went.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
It's delayed on YouTube, but it was messed up.
That's interesting. I didn't do anything. My hands were up here.
Playing with your internet, you kicking the cable underneath. So, funny related story, and not really related, but so this would have been about 1993. I was working IT at a retail company, family-owned retail company, comic book distributor actually here in the state of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And IT back then was like just the Wild West of all sorts of. Yeah, Adam says he must be Adonis for internet. This is like the Wild West of internet or of networking. Everything was still dial up and everything was all crazy. I got a call from a guy, and I was doing. It was a small company, 150 people. So those of us in IT did like everything from person has a problem with their computer to the mainframe is dying to printer, all this other crap. So I got this thing saying, hey, ever since I got this computer chair, my computer's been really slow lately. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And he's like, no, I had a regular chair before, but now I have this computer chair, and my computer goes really slow all the time. I'm like,
yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll be right over. So I go over, and it's your regular office chair, like all of us have, just or everyone in an office sits at just a regular looking office chair. But the difference is before he had just like an old wooden, like school chair, school teacher desk chair that didn't have wheels on it or didn't lean back at all. What this guy figured out he could do is he could take his keyboard. Nope, you're not gonna be able to see it. Cable's not long enough. And pull it back from his keyboard and put it in his lap. And then what he would do is he'd rest his feet on his tower underneath his desk. Well, we had different cables back then, and they were like coax, almost like your cable, and they had this weird like T connector on the back. And he was leaning back and doing this, and every time he did that, he would tilt the cable a little bit, and the connection on the cable was bad, and would drop his network connection just for a little bit. And because it was all text back then, you couldn't tell like Geo's going in and out of stuff. There's my story from the old days of IT for you.
Oh, I was gonna say, was the chair like a modem?
Was this in the 80s?
Like with a modem?
I'm not that old. This is like mid 90s, 93, 94, somewhere in there.
I was being funny, but never
When
mind.
were you born? 97?
90.
Oh, okay. That's when I graduated high school, so there's that.
Oh man.
So,
So what do we expect from the coming season?
what do we expect from what don't we expect from the coming season? I mean, everything's going to be great.
Well,
We're going to
we have like 7 months to figure it out.
we're going to have a commissioner who's going to make.
I'm asking you guys personally because
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have a commissioner who's going to come in and make everyone happy with all the choices he makes. We're going to have
multi-point scoring.
multiple point scoring. We're going to have 30 teams
No
in the
way. I
league.
don't believe the
Every
league
team's
that
going
would
to
do
play
that.
everybody. We're going to have a 7-game series for the playoffs. We're going to have video replay with 100 different camera angles that catches this. We're going to have a chip in the ball that tells if it's too slippery or not. We're going to have
We're gonna have 5 All-Star games.
We're going to have
Just
camera angles that look like this. We're going to have players. We're going to have 148,000 people attending every game. What else? I think that's about. I mean, that we don't want to ask for too much.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to ask for too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Brad said something interesting that Dallas could be in the other league next year. I've heard rumors that he was trying to recruit teams for another league. And I was also now Gio has no face, and that's really creeping me out.
He's got a rainbow.
I don't know what's going on. My internet connection might.
It's you have no. It looks like you have an eye patch and no face.
But do you see the rainbow above his?
Yeah, it looks like a rainbow Metallica logo. That's what it looks like because you got.
It seriously looks like you have like a streamer full of like Skittles above your head.
Welcome to In the Box Monday nights, where we have fun with internet and make fun of Gio.
I'm not doing anything.
I'm fascinated by this. I'm completely fascinated by this.
Serious, and it comes right back. So
It comes right back.
Exactly like
It's
the Impractical Jokers thing.
like I don't even have to do this
Yeah,
because
it
it's
does it on
perfect.
its
It
own.
just
And it's like I don't even move. It's whatever.
so that was fun. So
Yeah.
what do we expect from this season? I don't think the Mexican teams are coming back yet. But as we saw so this time last year, well, maybe not even this time last year, because this time last year we were still like reeling from everything going on. I had no idea what was happening. But we were also saying, wow, the season's so far away. Like you just said, Matt, it's 7 months away. So much stuff will change. And so much stuff did, but not for the better. And yeah, Dave says he's waiting for the AOL dial-up to reset.
Mom, hang up the phone. That was always my thing. Like I'd be online and all of a sudden it'd stop and it'd kick me off and it'd be like, Mom, get off the phone. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So next season, what I'm going to find to be really interesting is what happens to all the lone players.
Oh, that's a good question.
So there's a number of lone players so a lot of the teams will do 1-year contracts. So even though the rights reserve back to the original teams, if they're only on a 1-year contract, they are free to sign wherever they want. Now the team that they get, so Gio says he's going to log off because his internet is freaky, and he was going to log off anyway.
It looks like he's like in a shower now.
Yeah, Gio, you can't shower on the air. Let's okay, problem solved.
Oh, there we go.
What was I saying?
Oh, we were talking about loans and things.
Yeah, so players that are players that are on single year contracts now are in this situation where their team has the ability to. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, bright shiny object flew by, and I have a attention span of a goldfish. Squirrel. They were just courted by a team, and they were probably treated better than they thought they were treated because of the whole COVID situation. I know a lot of players were like, well, my team didn't want me because they couldn't even play, and this other team brought me in and welcomed me with open arms, and we did great things together. I think there's going to be a lot of situations where players will jump. Anyone with a multi-year contract is still under contract with their original team. Now, granted, there's a chance that they could say, well, I want to be traded or I want to go here. But when they left, they knew exactly. Like, there's no surprise here that, surprise, I didn't know I was still involved in the team. I thought I could sign anywhere, except for maybe one owner who thinks he could just buy anyone's contract for as long as he wants. Somewhere down there. You want to bring out the whiteboard? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. Everyone knew what was happening with their contract. There should be no surprises. But I think there's a good case. I mean, there's players who were treated differently who might have really fell in love with the city they went to. We may find some moves happening specifically for that reason.
Yeah, the off season's definitely going to be interesting, to say the least.
So Dave said Gio's the real life late night adult cable channel.
Oh my God.
problem is with the players is we don't know what the lengths of the contracts were. So with the exception of a handful, like we know Ian's on this lifetime contract that may be lifetime or may have 2 years left on it. I know Marcio's on a contract that still has 1 year left on it, and he said that he wants to retire in Milwaukee. But we don't know. A lot of the other players may be on 1 year loans and or 1 year contracts.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak. I'm sure I can pretty much say with confidence. Nate Bordeaux, Ben Raymond will be back in Utica next season. Nate runs a camp up here. Ben runs the soccer center up here. Jake Schindler, I don't think would end up staying in Florida because he has a new baby in Rochester, and he left Utica to sign with Rochester.
Yeah.
And then this happened. And also, I mean, we're talking about loan players, but what's going to happen with Charlie Gonzalez? What's going to happen to his brother? What's going to happen to Lisa? I mean, so there's a bunch of what ifs out there.
Yeah, Brad Van Zella is not going anywhere. Van Zella has his whole coaching thing, Born to Fly coaching in Baltimore, that he's not going to leave that. He's going to be there forever. But the Charlie is going to be interesting. I'm assuming that it's kind of like a Tayo brother, where wherever Charlie goes, his brother will go. Could it be a situation when they mend fences, kind of like Brandon Escoto did with San Diego, and he just comes back? This sounded kind of different than Brandon's situation, but you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think next season's going to be interesting as far as like when they start. I mean, the next big announcement's going to be the commissioner. Whenever that happens, we're told May, but I've also heard that no one's been signed yet, so maybe May is just hoping.
Yeah, I got to talk to some MASL executives while I was in Kansas City, and a lot of announcements will be made in May.
Yeah.
So, including the commissioner as well. So hopefully, once we find that out, we'll hear more information, maybe about like TV or pay-per-view deals or something along those lines.
So yeah, is there going to be a free agency period? Because they've typically done a free agency period right around May 1st, or 2 to 3 weeks. And where players are free to sign anywhere they want.
I wouldn't surprise me if they did like an extended free agency, because I mean, we going by the template or whatever, as long as it's past a certain date, like teams can sign whoever in football or basketball or baseball. So maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of did that last year, but they only did it as player contracts fell off, which was kind of like, well, that's really not the point of that's really not what a free agency even is.
Right.
So yeah, the point was the usual free agency was interesting because it was anybody with a contract expiring between like now and November was open to sign with anyone, and they didn't have to wait until November or whenever it was. So yeah, I would be interested in seeing that. I as much as I say the sign of a healthy league is a lot of movement in free agency, I just don't like it when it happens to my team.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm good with it as long as it's somebody else.
Yep, me too.
Well, my jersey. So I was going to pledge allegiance to a team between now and the next MASL season, and that team is Team Mercedes Lewis Hamilton. I got nothing.
You actually surprised me. I thought you were going to get your Ontario Fury jersey.
So I don't know what's going to happen with that, because I went into the store, and the store says all orders must be in by March 7th and will be shipped by April 24th. And I was like, well, then why is this still available for me to order? And I went through and I ordered it anyway. So I don't know if I'm going to get an email at some point saying, oh yeah, we didn't make your jersey, you're not getting it. Or it's going to be like in complete limbo, like a certain.
What's going to happen? Are you going to get your jersey first or a scarf?
Well, I got the refund for the scarf.
Oh,
apparently, if you ask about the scarf directly, you just get a refund for it. If you don't ask about the scarf, they just keep the money.
Well, I kind of tongue-in-cheek asked about the scarf, and he did reply it's on its way, but...
From where? Does the Mars rover have to figure out how to use its helicopter first to ship it back down to you?
I think so, yeah. I think yeah. Last time I saw it, it was the third ring of Saturn. That's where it is. So.
Made with 100% Martian rock?
Yeah, exactly.
I do have both Omaha Kings jerseys on order. I like the way those look. I would like to get a Sunflower jersey just because how cool the Sunflower guys were in the chat. And Mac, you should go back after this processes and stuff, probably tomorrow sometime. Go back and look at the chat because like 7 or 8 guys from the Sunflower team.
Oh, I could go back. I could go back right after this and look at the live chat.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, Dave just said one thing to add about the players is they have camps and obligations and jobs in their cities and that they aren't willing to give up. It's a lot different than other sports because they aren't, a lot of players aren't doing this for a living. So if they were just playing indoor for a living, it would be one thing to say, oh yeah, I'm just going to take my whole family and we're going to move to whatever city. But if they have their day job, Nicolau Neto is not going to move Kansas City because that's where his financial rep business is right now.
Right.
And first thing we find out is that he'll move. I don't think he will, but
no.
Yeah. So that's about that. I don't think we have anything more to go over. That was all the ones.
Yeah.
About.
Yeah.
Short show tonight. Thank you all for joining. So I think we're gonna take next week off, unless something major happens this week, which you never know with this league. I mean, we had 1 week we were gonna take off, and then like all of a sudden. We went from having a commissioner to not having a commissioner and having 11 teams to having 7, all within 3 days. So if something like that happens, we'll probably do a show next week. Otherwise, everybody enjoy a break.
Maybe I might have something up my sleeve on Friday.
Oh. Well, there is the matter of the season record. Who won the bet between you and Hannah?
Well, I'm pretty sure Hannah won, so I'm not really.
It's just maybe if we won't mention it, she'll forget about it.
I admit defeat.
I won't have to dye my hair blue for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Everyone have an amazing week. We're gonna have a sunflower show on May. What is that date again? May 3rd. Monday, May 3rd will be the all sunflower show. Sunflower guys, we will be in touch to figure out who's all going to be here, and we got to figure out, if we can move Gio over a little bit and get the corn dog out of the way and have a place for you guys to sit. And
maybe we could probably fit him in with one of the other things. Like, let's take a look. Like,
no, that one won't work.
No.
This one might work.
That one might, because you could probably put one of them like up top. And then, like one there. We could have it be, oh my gosh, if there was like 9 of us, we could have like the Brady Bunch.
Oh, yes. Then you'd have to put the corn dog in the middle. Go on to What is this? Get this thing.
I'm gonna get Gio out.
Wait a minute. Wait. Get out of there.
That's definitely bigger than their field.
That was way too much fun. The only thing that would have been better would have been having the soundboard working. I apologize for that. I know everyone loves the sound effects. Well, I love the sound effects. I really don't care what you guys like. What did I say that out loud? Sorry. But,
I think we're still.
I'll have to figure that out for next time.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right.
Yeah.
Everybody have a great night. We'll talk to you later. We are out.
the